Picture this. You're standing in the middle of the grocery store meat aisle, just staring down two steaks. They look almost absolutely identical, but they come with wildly different labels and totally different price tags. On one side, you've got your standard conventional beef. On the other, a package proudly declaring itself 100% grass-fed. You look at the prices, you look at the marbling, and you can't help but wonder, what exactly am I paying for here? Well, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the science, the nutrition, and the economics of the beef we eat, pulling directly from agricultural and nutritional research to give you the straight facts.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The meat aisle dilemma. 2. The great fat debate. 3. Vitamins and antioxidants. 4. Taste, texture, and look. And finally, 5. Making your beef choice. Kicking things off with Section 1. The meat aisle dilemma. Let's get the basics down.
So, is grass-fed beef really worth that premium price tag? It's the central question pretty much every health-conscious shopper asks when looking at their options. But to answer it fairly, we can't just rely on slick marketing buzzwords. We really have to look at how the animal was raised, because what the cow eats fundamentally alters the biochemistry of the meat that ends up on your plate. Now, it's super important we clear up a common misconception right out of the gate. Both conventional and grass-fed cattle actually start their lives the exact same way, eating grass out on a pasture. The divergence happens at what's called the finishing stage. Conventional or grain-finished cattle spend the last part of their lives in feedlots eating high-energy grains to rapidly pack on those final 400 pounds. On the flip side, forage-finished or grass-fed cattle eat a diet solely of grass and lush forages for their entire lifespan. It's a much slower, more traditional process. Moving right along to Section 2, the great fat debate. We're talking molecules and ratios here. Let's step off the pasture and look through a microscope at the lipid profile. What does a cow's diet actually do to its fat? Well, first off, the University of Georgia found that grass-fed steaks are about 40% lower in total fat compared to grain-fed. But it's not just about how much fat there is, it's about the type of fat. Check out that omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. You can think of this like a nutritional seesaw. Health professionals generally recommend we aim for a target ratio of 2 to 1 or less to help reduce inflammation. Grain-fed beef averages way up at 7.65 to 1. But because fresh pasture is just packed with omega-3 precursors, grass-fed beef hits a beautifully balanced ratio of around 1.53 to 1. And this brilliantly illustrates the biological journey of those fats. On the right side, you've got alpha-linolenic acid. That's an omega-3 precursor found abundantly in lush green grass. When a cow eats that grass, enzymes basically act like a factory assembly line. They elongate it right down the chain into EPA, DPA, and DHA. You know, those are the highly beneficial omega-3s we usually associate with eating fish. Because green diets just lack these precursors, the right side of this pathway doesn't get that same kind of fuel in conventional cattle. Beyond omega-3s, there's another massive buzzword in the health community right now, CLA, or conjugated linoleic acid. This is a potent, naturally occurring polyunsaturated fatty acid with potential cancer-fighting properties. It's synthesized right inside the cow's rumen, which is its stomach. And here's the real kicker. Research shows grass-fed cows produce double or sometimes even triple the amount of CLA compared to grain-fed cattle. Why? Because a grass diet maintains a much more favorable, less acidic pH in the cow's rumen. That allows the very specific bacteria that create CLA to absolutely thrive.
Now, what's truly fascinating about this is the metabolic pathway itself. The synthesis of CLA happens in 2 stages. First, dietary fat from the grass is processed in the rumen, creating a substance called vaccinic acid. Then, in the tissues themselves, an enzyme called delta-9 desaturase converts that vaccinic acid directly into CLA. Grass consumption literally alters the biochemistry of the cow, giving it the exact building blocks it needs to produce these beneficial fats right in the meat.
All right, Section 3, vitamins and antioxidants. Let's uncover those hidden micronutrients. We've talked a whole lot about fat, but what else does a lush green diet give to the meat? Let's evaluate those hidden micronutrients. A cow that spends its whole life eating fresh, living plants absorbs a massive amount of antioxidants that dry grains simply don't provide. For starters, grass-fed beef shows significant boosts in vitamin A, primarily from beta-carotene. You'd normally associate that with carrots, but turns out cows get plenty of it from grass too. It also has up to 3 times the amount of vitamin E. Plus, we see higher concentrations of powerful cellular antioxidants like glutathione and superoxide dismutase.
The cow essentially packages the nutritional power of the pasture right into the beef.
So the crucial takeaway here is that these antioxidants don't just benefit you, they actually benefit the meat itself. Here's a super surprising fact from the research. Those elevated levels of vitamin E, specifically alpha tocopherol, act post-mortem to delay oxidative deterioration. This means that even though it has more oxidizable omega-3 fats, the high antioxidant content in grass-fed beef actually keeps the meat looking fresh and bright cherry red on the retail display shelf for a significantly longer period of time.
Which brings us to Section 4, Taste, Texture, and Look, the sensory reality.
We've looked at the microscopic science, but hey, nutrition is only half the story, right? Let's step out of the lab and into the kitchen to look at the culinary impact. Objectively speaking, the cow's diet completely changes the sensory experience of the beef. Grass-fed is known for a more grassy or gamey flavor, and its fat is often visibly yellow because of all that beta-carotene we just talked about. Also, because it's leaner, it cooks faster. On the other hand, grain-fed beef has what most Americans consider the traditional beef flavor, though some sensory scientists actually describe the chemical aroma of grain-fed fat on the grill as slightly soapy when compared to the green aroma of grass-fed. Grain-fed also features bright white fat, higher marbling, and is generally rated as more tender.
But sensory data only goes so far. Food is deeply human. While trained professionals' taste panels do often score grain-fed beef higher for traditional flavor and tenderness, grass-fed beef has a highly dedicated fan base of its own. As consumer Gwen Rowland notes, when you find a farmer who knows how to properly finish the right breed of cattle on high-quality forages, it can literally be the best beef you're ever going to eat. It's just a different product. It requires a different palate and a slightly different approach when you throw it on the grill.
Let's bring it all together in Section 5, Making Your Beef Choice, Cost and Conclusion. It's time to weigh the objective scientific data we've covered against the practical financial realities. The elephant in the room is, of course, the price tag. $1.18 versus $2.22. These numbers represent the historical break-even cost per pound for a producer raising conventional beef versus grass-fed beef. Forage finishing is just inherently inefficient. It takes cattle much, much longer to reach a marketable weight when they're eating grass compared to eating high-calorie grains. And that extra time on the pasture, that means more land, more labor, and way more risk for the farmer. So that premium price you see in the store isn't just a corporate markup. It directly reflects the slower, more costly reality of pastoral farming. So here is our totally impartial summary of the final trade-offs. We definitely aren't here to declare a winner, we're just explaining what the source material says. If you go with grass-fed, you're getting lower overall fat, an optimal omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, and way more vitamins and antioxidants. But you're going to pay a higher cost and experience a gamier flavor. Now, if you choose grain-fed, you get that traditional flavor most folks are used to, highly tender and marbled meat, and a much more cost-effective price point. But that comes with higher total fat and a less favorable lipid profile. Ultimately, there's absolutely no single right answer for everyone. It all comes down to what you value most. Are you prioritizing a specific nutritional profile, or are you looking for traditional tenderness and a budget-friendly option for family dinner? The next time you're standing in that meat aisle looking at those two seemingly identical steaks, you're going to know exactly what's beneath the plastic wrap. So, which trade-offs matter most to your wallet and your palate? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.